Hey, welcome to my latest video. Today I want to talk about how to make working as a developer easier and more enjoyable. In my case, I almost destroyed my health, my relationships, and my emotional well-being. Therefore, I want to talk about this sensitive subject in the hope that it will help you to avoid making the same mistakes. If it helps one person, I'm more than happy. Therefore, let's see what I did wrong and what you can learn from that and what to avoid. You know that working as a developer involves sitting in front of the computer screen for hours daily. We spend most of our time on a chair, at a desk, staring at a screen. That can get very tiring for your eyes and your brain, but also it can bring lots of physical issues like back pain, shoulder pains, wrist pain, and many other things. After that is the amount of information that it's out there. We have to learn a lot and we have to keep up with even more. It feels like every day we have a new tool, a new technology, a new language or whatever released. It's like we are on a wheel. Once we finish learning something new is released and we have to learn it as well. That caused me lots of problems, health issues, emotional issues, relationship problems, and so on. And let's see why. The first problem, trying to learn everything. When I learned how to code and when I was in university, I tried to learn and memorize everything. I thought as a developer, you have to store everything here. I thought you have to use your brain like a hard disk drive. But the truth is that you are never going to be able to learn and know everything. And I learned that the hard way by going through a burnout, which is not nice. There isn't a single person that knows everything and from the top of the head. Google, Stack Overflow, GitHub, and other platforms are there for that. Let them store the information and only learn what's important and what helps you. You don't have to learn everything. Therefore, to avoid becoming burnt out and to avoid putting so much pressure on yourself, I would advise you to stop trying to learn everything and to remember everything, because that's not possible. Learn how to make use of the resources available to you. The second one is running your own race with social media, where everyone shows their achievements, their highlight reels. It's very easy to compare to others. By comparing to others, you feel like everyone is ahead of you, everyone does better, everyone knows more, and stuff like that. At least I was in that position. I looked at people on social media and I always thought, I'm never gonna be like that person. Oh, they are so ahead of me, or I don't know, oh, they are smarter than me, which is not true. I mean, it's not always true, because some people can be ahead of you. However, never forget that on social media, everyone shows their achievements and the best things from their life. They don't show the countless of hours behind their work, they don't show their struggles, and so on. Or at least not many do. Everyone is struggling, you just don't see it. Everyone goes through hard times, struggles, and so on, but you don't see it on social media. It's fine to compare if that motivates you, but don't let that steal your joy. Get inspired, get motivated, and move on and care about your path and journey. There will always be people with more experience than you, but on the flip side, there will be always people with less experience than you. My advice would be to stop comparing yourself to those people. Get inspired, get motivated, whatever, but don't let it steal your joy. The third one is working when not working. And if it doesn't make sense, you'll understand soon what I mean by that. My biggest problem, and the biggest problem of most people I know, is not switching off their brain after work. We finish work at 5 p.m., let's say, but after that we keep on thinking what should we do next, what could we have done better during the day, what should we work on, and things like that. Your brain is constantly working, even if you are playing games or whatever, your mind is at work. Also, physically, some people don't even stop working. They start replying to emails after work, they start working more, they start working on their projects, and so on. I'm still trying to learn how to switch off from work, and I advise you do the same. Nothing is more important than your health, relationships, and well-being. Work is just work. If something happens to you, it's not the code that will be there with you. It will be your, I don't know, family, wife, or whatever you have. Learn to rest, learn to enjoy other things than programming or work, and make the most of life. Also, if you are rested and everything is fine, you will be able to work better, you'll be more efficient and more productive. The fourth one is master of everything. This is still a big issue of mine because I try to learn too many things and I try to master them all, which will never ever be possible no matter the field, but even more in software development. I know it feels like every week or month new tools, technologies, languages are released, and you feel like you have to learn them to stay up to date, but that's not true. You cannot learn them all, let alone master them. Just because new tools and frameworks are released, it doesn't mean you have to start learning them or trying to master them. Pick several technologies, do a study market of your area, or think about what you want to do, for example, backend development, and according to your studies and the area you want to be in, pick a handful of technologies that go well together and stick with them, even if new tools are released so often. It's easy to jump around and lose focus, but remember, if you jump from tool to tool, you'll always be a novice and you'll never know a tool, technology, or anything in depth. And of course, that doesn't mean to overlook new technologies or useful technologies. For example, it doesn't mean you should use jQuery and ignore React or Vue, for example. What it means is that if you know React or Vue, it doesn't mean you also have to know Angular, Svelte, and I don't know, Vue, or vice versa. Therefore, this is my advice for you. Pick a handful of technologies and stick with them. The fifth one is the imposter syndrome. How many times did you feel like you don't belong in tech, you are not a good programmer, you are faking it, you are an imposter, you are not going to make it? But before answering, I want to jump in and say that that happens to me almost every day. More or less, we all feel this. I know there are some people who say they don't feel like imposter, like they don't have the imposter syndrome. Never. But I think that's rather the exception than the rule. Most of the developers to whom I speak, they tell me that they have the imposter syndrome, and the funny fact is that most of them are senior developers. So if you are a junior watching this, or if you are a beginner, understand that we all have it, more or less. Some people struggle more with it, some people struggle less with it, and also experienced developers have it as well. However, I would like to say that you can use this as a motivation rather than letting it put you off. If you want to know how to do that, I link my article here, which you can read about the imposter syndrome. That's another topic and it doesn't belong to this video. If you want, you can click on this link and read more about it. Therefore, my advice would be to put away these thoughts, because more or less we all have it, and experienced developers as well. The sixth one and the last one is taking stuff step by step. Most people, including myself, always set goals like building the next Facebook, the next WhatsApp, or whatever. But that's a big issue because it puts you off instantly. Just do an exercise. If you think about creating the next Facebook, it's a super big application and you don't even know where to start. Instead, try to break it step by step. For example, first create an application that allows people to register and log in, then the application allows people to post, and so on. And by achieving these small steps, soon you'll have a big app or a big goal achieved. Achieving smaller tasks doesn't feel like such a burden, and each time you achieve a small task or complete it, you feel more confidence. The more smaller tasks you do, the more confident you become. Therefore, my advice would be to always break things into smaller steps. That was it. These are the mistakes I made that almost destroyed my life, my emotional well-being, my physical health, my relationships, and life in general. Try not to make them, and try to learn from my mistakes and from the mistakes other people make. I'm really curious to see what you think about this video and about these mistakes, and I would like if you reply in the comments letting me know. Thank you.